members of the Council of State, Chief of Staff, Senior Minister, Minister for Planning, Ministers of State, Deputy Greater Accra Regional Minister, Deputy Ministers of State, the National Security Advisor, Majority Leader in Parliament, Minority Leader in Parliament, Governor of the Bank of Ghana, the Acting National Chairperson of the National Development Planning Commission, members of the Security Services, members of the Diplomatic Corps, traditional rulers, fellow Ghanaians, ladies and gentlemen. It has been some 15 months that by the grace of God and the generosity of the Ghanaian people, I assumed the high office of President of the Republic. The Ghanaian people voted massively for change because they were dissatisfied with their conditions of living and the direction of the country. They voted for the New Patriotic Party and myself because they believed we were different and would put this country onto the path of progress and prosperity and help bring wealth to all parts of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here today to share with you, the people of Ghana, the good people of Ghana, my comprehensive vision for the economic and social development of this nation from 2017 to 2024 and solicit your support to accomplish it. On 13th November 2017, I presented this comprehensive vision to Parliament in fulfillment of Article 36(5) of the Constitution, which requires that, and I quote, "Within 2 years after assuming office, the President shall present to Parliament a coordinated program of economic and social development policies, including agricultural and industrial programs at all levels and in all the regions of Ghana." This is the first time in the history of the Fourth Republic that this requirement has been met by a president in his first year of office. I'm inviting all Ghanaians to buy into this vision and work to make it happen, for it represents a clear route towards the progress and prosperity of our nation. On 7th January 2017, when I swore the oath, Ghana was faced with a myriad of socio-economic challenges, characterized by poor macroeconomic conditions, rising rates of unemployment, especially amongst the youth, declining private sector, industrial and agricultural growth, disaffection for the political class arising out of perceived insensitivity to the plight of ordinary citizens, worsening healthcare services, pervasive corruption among public office holders, destruction of the environment and water bodies through illegal mining, the phenomenon we call galamsey, amongst others. These challenges demanded a new direction and a new approach. The new direction is informed by my own experience and convictions, the aspirations of Ghanaians articulated during 3 successive election campaigns. The agenda for change is captured in the 2016 MPP manifesto, and the desire to offer to all Ghanaians and stakeholders of Ghana a new hope, a new vision, and a new future. My vision, ladies and gentlemen, is to help create an optimistic, self-confident, and prosperous nation. through the creative exploitation of our human and natural resources, and operating within a democratic, open, and fair society in which mutual trust and economic opportunities exist for all. I have on several occasions outlined this vision and indicated some of the key elements to be fulfilled in order to realize it. This vision demands innovative pursuits to create opportunities for Ghanaians to apply their skills, talents, and knowledge to productive ventures. It is, however, obvious that the jobs created cannot be sustained in a situation where the country is dependent on imports of foods, on imports of the basic necessities of life. A sustainable job creation agenda should aim at reducing dependency through domestic mobilization of resources and, in the long run, see Ghana beyond aid. Thanks to Haruna Idrisu. An agenda for jobs is a key element of moving Ghana to a situation beyond aid, with the ultimate vision of creating prosperity and equal opportunities for all. My vision is informed by the need to establish a strong economy that creates opportunities, inspires people to start businesses, stimulates expansion of existing businesses, and ultimately leads to the creation of jobs, increased economic growth, and higher incomes. Citizens are able to expand their scope of choice in consumption and savings decisions, while government is able to enhance its capacity to provide basic public goods and services that citizens desire. Enhance access to social services such as education, training and skills development, and healthcare. And direct investment in infrastructure such as transportation, power, affordable housing, and water. The vision sets the anchor for a new direction and offers an avenue for a new Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen, this new direction entails elaborating conditions for the creative potential of the Ghanaian private sector to emerge through invention, innovation, adoption, and adaptation, especially in the industrial sector of the economy, thereby generating more quality jobs and higher incomes. The charge to government in this regard is to initiate and implement a set of transformative policies to build a business-friendly economy capable of creating quality jobs and prosperity for all Ghanaians. But stimulating the private sector to work and to lead the job creation agenda will require some effort on the part of government to restore confidence in the economy by improving the overall macroeconomic management, reducing the cost of doing business, fighting corruption in the public sector, ensuring the availability of reliable, affordable power, facilitating simple access to land, and promoting skills development. Thus, the policy direction is founded on 5 pillars of growth and development, namely, firstly, revitalizing the economy. Secondly, transforming agriculture and industry. Thirdly, revamping economic and social infrastructure. Fourthly, strengthening social protection and inclusion. And fifthly, reforming the delivery of public service institutions. In our quest to transform the economy, We will, in addition, promote the effective application of science, technology, and innovation. An important pivot of economic policy is effective fiscal policy management, which includes maintaining fiscal discipline by narrowing the public spending revenue gap, reducing government borrowing, and creating the fiscal space to reduce the vulnerabilities of the economy to shocks. Good fiscal management will create favorable conditions for reducing interest rates to spur private sector investment, expansion, and enhanced productivity. A well-defined industrial policy is needed to provide direction, to enhance the operational capacity of existing firms, and to facilitate small business incubation as a way to promote the government's One District, One Factory initiative. The industrial policy is to be supported by targeted provision of infrastructure to eliminate critical bottlenecks in the areas of roads, rail, aviation, water, sanitation, and energy, and distribute infrastructure fairly and comprehensively across the country. Government social policy regime is to invest in people by improving access and ensuring the provision of quality education, healthcare, and affordable housing. An integrated social policy regime would address the demands of the growing population, urbanization, and social infrastructure needs. Appropriate policies for social protection and inclusion will be sustained to address the needs of the vulnerable, including specific investments in rural, coastal, zongo, and inner city communities. Our strategic direction is having the private sector as the driver of development and using the expanded opportunities for job creation as the trigger for creating wealth and prosperity. The quote, agenda for jobs, creating prosperity and equal opportunity for all, unquote, as the coordinated program for economic and social development policies 2017-2024 is titled, is the basis of government's development planning, programming, implementation, and assessment, and will provide such government for government policy development and measurement. The ministries, departments, and agencies, as well as the metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies, will prepare their respective medium-term development strategies and plans in response to and for implementing the policies under the agenda. We will facilitate the private sector to develop its capacities and position itself to partner government in implementing key initiatives identified under the agenda. Civil society organizations have the significant role of disseminating information on the agenda, facilitating direct interventions at the community level, and ensuring accountability in delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, the fulfillment of the agenda for jobs requires a committed drive for change. The drive must be propelled by our determination, attitude, and resolve as Ghanaians who desire a transformed nation. Over the years, essential cultural values, promoting national identity and a sense of patriotism, pursuing excellence, discipline, hard work, honesty, trust, tenacity, a sense of urgency and respect have not been given the necessary attention in our development efforts. Additionally, the transformation of the Ghanaian economy demands the establishment of a world-class labor force. The agenda thus proposes the development of a more robust labor market data through operationalizing the Ghana Labor Market Information System, linking public service pay to productivity, making it more responsive to modern trends, introducing lifelong skill training for workers, and improving the work environment. Government's efforts will include improving the work environment, formalizing the informal sectors of the economy, resourcing and enhancing the workplace conditions of the Labor Department, Management Development and Productivity Institute, the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, the Public Services Commission, Office of the Head of Civil Service, and Local Government Service, amongst others. Engagement with the trade unions would be intensified to facilitate productivity and harmonious industrial relations. Ladies and gentlemen, in my address to the United Nations General Assembly in New York last year, I reiterated the sustainable development of Africa, including Ghana, must be predicated on technological innovation, research, and development. I believe there is a strong positive relationship between the state of innovation in a country and the living standards of its people. I acknowledge our country has not paid due attention to research and development, which has hampered the development of innovation. Government under the Agenda for Jobs will, as a matter of urgent policy, adequately resource the Council for Scientific and Industrial Research, CSIR, and its 13 affiliated institutes, as well as other national research institutes, to lead the introduction of broad-based innovation and productivity incentives in the national economy. It will strengthen further the link between research and industry, particularly the industrial associations and the institutions of research and learning. Ladies and gentlemen, although this vision subsists for the next 7 years, and we have covered only 15 months, we take modest pride in acknowledging that we are on the way for the desired change. Although we can only be legitimately judged at the end of the period, the track record of government in the first year indicates that the Agenda for Jobs is on course. Many of the identified flagship projects under the agenda have already been launched. Some are being effectively prepared, and others planned for their imminent takeoff. The gloomy picture of the Ghanaian economy has been reversed, and it is on a defined road of revitalization. The defined actions include the effective management of the economy with assertive fiscal, monetary, and debt controls, establishing a national digital addressing system, launching of the 10-point industrialization agenda, including the One District, One Factory initiative, establishing a national tax evasion hotline, creating the development authorities for the northern middle belt coastal zones of our country, instituting the Zongo Development Fund, and the facilitation of an electronic payment system, especially for salaries and utilities. The revamping of our economic and social infrastructure is on course. Dumso has ended through the improvement of financing, generation, transmission, and distribution of electrical power. The renovation and expansion of the railway network to northern Ghana is to be pursued vigorously. And the revival of the transportation systems in the Volta Lake and the Eastern Corridor Road have been initiated. The fight against illegal mining is on course, and some of our rivers have shown visible signs of recovery. The agricultural sector has exhibited the initial signs of transformation with the implementation of the program for planting for food and jobs. The One Village, One Dam initiative will be launched momentarily to cover the northern parts of the country and help bring farmers closer to sustainable all-round agricultural production. The social sector of Ghana is working again with the implementation of the free senior high school policy, the strengthening and alignment of technical and vocational education institutions, the facilitation of the ICT program in schools, and the continuation of the rationalization and expansion of educational infrastructure. The restructure of the National Health Insurance Scheme has been initiated with an intense stakeholder consultation process, whilst the Livelihood Empowerment Against Poverty program has been expanded to cover more households. The Ghana School Feeding Program has also been expanded to cover additional communities. The Affirmative Action Bill is under consideration by Cabinet, and the proportion of the Disability Fund of the District Common Fund has been increased. Under governance, as I reported in this year's message on the State of the Nation, a program for the amendment of the relevant articles of the Constitution to pave way for the direct election of MMDCEs and bring full democracy to local government has been defined. The constitutional processes for the reorganization of our regional governance structure, the first in the history of the Fourth Republic, to bring governance closer to the people to accelerate development, is underway. The Office of the Special Prosecutor and the identity of its first occupant have been effected. The Right to Information Bill has been presented to Parliament. The public sector reform strategy has been reviewed and will be launched in a few weeks from now, whilst reforms of our system of public procurement are ongoing. Ladies and gentlemen, I can confidently state that actions have already begun on many of the flagship programs under the Agenda for Jobs, and the remaining will witness inception shortly. It is my conviction that the effect and impact of these initiatives and many others articulated in the document will go a long way to ignite and sustain the transformation we are craving for our nation and bring us close to achieving the Sustainable Development Goals. Today, I'm calling on public servants, private sector operators, organized labor, actors in the informal sector, members of the media, institutions for research and learning, civil society actors, religious figures, traditional authorities, and friends of Ghana to join hands in ensuring that this national clarion call resonates all in our homeland Ghana and make it great and strong. I thank you for your attention.